So, okay. I have to shake your hand.
Hi, nice to meet you, Margalit, right?
Yeah.
Margalit.
Thank you.
Margalit.
Yeah, you too.
And Chloe?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chloe.
Thank you for coming. Can I get you some water?
No, thank you.
Okay. Then I need to have you sign this waiver.
Just put in the information.
Yeah, I need to use this information in our project.
I'll put Morgan in parentheses. That was my name when I was growing up, my maiden name, and Smith is my name now, so. See, is this the 27th?
Yes.
Time is flying. I can't believe it. It's going to be Thanksgiving before we know it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then, is it okay if I record our conversation?
Yes, it is.
If there are any questions you do not want to answer, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, and okay, let's get started. Chloe, do you want to write this along with it? Okay. So what years did you attend Longfellow? Like the year, like 19 whatever, and grades?
Okay, I was actually born in Iowa City, but then we lived in Indianola. So I went to kindergarten in Indianola. So I actually moved to Iowa City in 1952 when I was in first grade. Okay. And then graduated from sixth grade in 1958, the spring.
Okay, so you came in 1952 and started first grade then, and moved in 1958.
Well, no, I went to the junior high then.
Okay.
We had Old Central Junior High, which is, where Mercy Hospital is.
Yeah.
Well, you probably didn't even see the building because it's been torn down, and they put more parking across the street than they from Mercy. Mm-hmm. That was my original junior high, 7th and 8th, and then in 9th they opened Southeast, which we were so mad because we were supposed to be freshmen at City High.
Yeah.
And we had to go another year in junior high. So it was kind of a bummer, but anyway, so that, I think 52, 3, 4, 5, 6, 57. Yeah, because 57, 58, I would have been in sixth grade. So that's correct.
Okay. Okay, you got that down. What do you remember most about Longfellow?
I just loved Longfellow and all the teachers, and especially Miss Montgomery.
Yeah.
She was my third grade teacher, and I wanted to be a teacher from the time that I had her. And she'd always put a saying up on the board every day. So I kind of copied that idea when I was a teacher, and I'd have a student of the day that would come up and lead us in the pledge, and then they'd read the saying, and we'd talk about what it meant. But all of my teachers were wonderful, very caring and learning oriented, and Mr. Seavey was the principal, and he was a great memory too. I really liked him. Oh, and don't forget the hill. We would bring cardboard boxes.
Pardon the interruption. Could I please have Elise Jesperson come to the office with your backpack? Thank you.
The big hill that you slide down, we bring cardboard boxes and sit in those until they'd flatten out eventually. And then if you were a safety patrol, then you got to come to the skating party. They built a little, down at the bottom of that hill, they built a little pond where we could ice skate.
That's nice.
So those were good memories too.
So you had safety patrol?
So we had safety patrol. I was so excited to wear the white belt and everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Ours are neon green now.
Oh, neon green.
Yeah. Okay. And you said, what grade did you teach when you taught here?
Well, I didn't teach here. I taught in Chicago first. I taught fourth. That was my first year of teaching. And then we moved to Omaha, and I taught fifth and second. And then 5th again when I went back after Laura and Meg were a little older. And then we moved to Des Moines, West Des Moines, and then I taught 3rd. So I've really taught 2nd through 5th, actually. And then 2nd was my longest. I taught that for 17 years.
Wow. So what did you wear to school? Like, was there like a uniform or?
No uniform. I was just thinking about this the other day because I see the fashion now with some of the younger girls is to wear like slacks with kind of almost a dress length top over.
Yeah.
Well, in the wintertime, we would wear dresses, but then we would wear our jeans under it so our legs would stay warm. So I thought, oh, that reminds me of when I was in grade school. So we wore, pretty nice clothes. And whenever you came home from school, you had to change into your play clothes. You couldn't wear your same clothes out to play,
So you had like the school clothes and then play clothes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'd always get a storm coat for wintertime. I remember it was like a wool coat, and it would always have a little fake fur collar, and you'd have matching snow pants. And then you'd have boots that you'd have to put over your shoes, which was really tough in the cloakrooms when you're trying to get out to recess and then get back in. So sometimes we'd put bread sacks over our feet, over our regular shoes, so we could slide them into the boots, And then in the winter or summer or spring, we'd always I'd get a light poplin jacket. And it was so refreshing to walk to school. I had about a 10-block walk probably.
10 blocks?
Yeah. And we would walk home for lunch too and then walk back because there was no hot lunch.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, no hot lunch. And so there were a few people that maybe lived too far that would bring a sacked lunch, but most of us walked home.
Okay, so that was
This is a coming up question.
Yeah, it's a coming up question, but that's good. Yeah. Okay, so what did you bring for school supplies?
I remember vividly shopping down at Iowa Book and Supply, where that is downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And just that smell of new pencils when you go in there. So you'd have to get pencils and paper. I'm trying to think. Crayons, of course, scissors, glue, probably pretty similar to what you guys have to get.
Similar? Okay. Okay, let Chloe get that.
You can continue.
Okay.
Chloe's a fast writer.
Yeah. Do you want the second extra page? Because it looks like we're in the other one.
Oh, it's fine. It's just my hands angled at a weird spot.
Okay. So what do you remember most about your classroom?
My 6th grade or any of them? Just
any of them?
I remember the big windows. I remember when Laura first was moved over to teach at Longfellow, and she's like, "Mom, what are these big sticks for?" And I said, "Well, that's to hoist up your windows. They probably won't have those anymore now that you're getting new windows and stuff."
Did they renovate that before we went? Because the only giant windows that I remember are in the gym.
That's what she's talking about is the poles for the gym.
No, but in your room, didn't you have them too?
You could open the window without a pole in my room.
Oh, well, we had pretty big windows though.
They were big, yeah, still when you came to visit. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that was for the shade to pull it down, and I didn't understand what the teacher was doing. I don't know, but what I liked about 6th grade was you had like a separate cloakroom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe all the grades did because we didn't really have lockers or anything like that. Do you have lockers now?
No. The new school that's being renovated, it will have lockers, but we just had cubbies.
Okay. Where do you hang your coat then? Just
under the cubbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little hooks.
Little hooks. Which are very painful if you bang your head against it.
Pardon the interruption. Can I please have Elise Jesperson please come to the office with your backpack? Thank you.
So then the next question would have been, did you eat lunch? But we already got that. So what was recess like?
Well, I remember if it was really cold, like thinking of a day like today, us girls, we thought it was warmer to take our coats off, and then we'd get in a kind of a group, and we'd have our coats over our heads and we'd be in there. We thought it was warmer to do that. I remember doing that down on the big playground, you know, near the swings and stuff. And I remember the teeter-totter. If you were on the, you guys have a teeter-totter?
We don't have it anymore.
If your person on the other side would jump off, you'd go crashing down.
Oh, I've been on those, though. It's terrible.
I remember that. That was not fun. Then we had a thing that you could put your knees up on and do a somersault kind of, what do they call those? Like a bar.
Mhm.
We had a lower bar and then a higher bar. And
We have those too, except for it goes like lower than high, then like medium, then super high.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were always fun to twirl on. So yeah, we had great times at recess.
Do you have any like specific stories about recess?
The coat one maybe is the main one. One thing I liked about sixth grade is we had a little newspaper and we'd go around and interview people and then we'd set up a little booth at recess time. We were happy to give up our recess and sell our little newspaper for, I don't know, 2 cents or something. But that made you feel important. And then I got to help in the office when I was a sixth grader. And so I'd give up my recess for that and I'd go answer phones actually. That was pretty big stuff when I was a sixth grader, you know, in the office, because I think the secretary and Mr. Seavey, the principal, were probably having lunch, and so I was kind of in charge of things. And when I was in second grade, my teacher I was a pretty good reader, and she'd have me read to the class after lunch. So I had a lot of leadership opportunities at Longfellow, and that was. But then I went to junior high and it was kind of different. But hopefully you have a better experience than I did. I don't know. Junior high was kind of hard for me. I had loved Longfellow so much and felt the people were, you know, my friends all through those years. And at the end of the year, we'd always have a big picnic out what I would call the front of the building, but you call the other one the front. But we'd spread our blankets all over the hills, right, you know, out there, and that was really special too. And I was so sad when it was my sixth grade one because I knew it would be the last, you know. But
so this isn't on the sheet, but we are during one of our classes for like getting together and like talking about the writing project. They said that somebody said, I don't know if it was when you went to Longfellow, but somebody said that when it snowed, all the sixth grade boys would go against the whole entire school in the giant snowball fight. Do you remember anything?
I don't think that was that might have been after my time. We were pretty low key in those days. I don't think they would have let us do that. But that would have been fun to see.
Yeah.
I wonder when that would have been. Maybe you'll come across somebody that remembers that, but.
Yeah, the teachers are kind of hesitant to tell us about
that.
That's funny. Yeah, okay, so did you have any favorite activity or piece of playground equipment? I know you said the bars, but...
I love the swings.
The swings.
Yeah. And I love that hill. Oh my goodness, we would look forward to first snow when we could start to bring our cardboard boxes, and sometimes you'd have a great big one, you know, and it wouldn't flatten down as quickly, and that was really fun to go down in a big one. But the only problem with the snow is get into the top of your boots and get down, and so you'd sit in wet socks the rest of the afternoon. I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
Do you have that problem sometimes?
Yeah. I think it was in third grade. I think our teacher let us take off our shoes and our socks and just let them dry out in front of the heater.
Wow. That was nice.
Yeah.
Did they ever dry though?
They got warm, but they didn't dry.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, then walking home in those cold, wet socks was, you know. But what I loved in the spring when you go to your light poplin jacket, something about like this, you know. And I had this big hill, and you could have roller skates. These were the kind you worked with a key, and they'd fit onto your shoes. And I could go down that big hill and then make sure no cars were coming and leap over to the other side, you know, and you could get to school really fast that way. So, or we could ride, then when you were, I think, sixth grade, you could ride your bike. And that was really a cool thing when we could ride our bikes. Now, can you ride bikes to school?
We Chloe and I live too far away to bike here, so we ride the bus. But when back in the original location, yeah, I would ride my bike sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've ridden my bike down the hill too. It was really fun.
Those hills are awesome.
That was really annoying.
Yeah, going up is terrible.
Yeah, going up is not good.
Yeah.
Or climbing back up that hill with your,
Your
cardboard
sled,
box or
yeah.
sled was not that great either. But
One time I remember the whole entire hill was like completely covered in ice. Like the snow like got packed down and then there's ice, and my little brother like was sitting on it, and then he slid all the way down. And then my mom he was like 3 or something, 2 or 3. So my mom was trying to go get him, but like she couldn't climb up, so they had to go all the way around.
Oh no.
Oh, that would be hard.
Yeah.
How much younger is he than you?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I just remembered, when we were in 6th grade, like in the spring of our 6th grade year, they let the girls do a craft with the teacher, and then the boys, I don't know what the boys did, to be honest, but we learned how to knit.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we'd sit out on the hill, on the, not the big hill, but one over to the side, and we'd knit, and I knitted this big flag thing. That's all I ever learned how to do with knitting, but I thought that was kind of special, because they probably figured, well, we learned all we were going to, so we'll just let them have some crafts here at the end.
Oh, you mean you started during class?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a special privilege. Yeah.
So, the next one is, do you remember any traditions like routines, holidays, celebrations, and then the 6th grade party? And I know you mentioned safety patrol. Did you have the lock-in?
We didn't do that kind of thing. One thing I really liked, we opened every morning with the pledge, but then at the end of the week, we'd all, the big stairs, you'd gather up at the top, and then one of the boys usually, or could have been a girl, but mostly boys, I think, played trumpet, and they would play taps like at the end of each week. I thought that was very patriotic,
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. We had a 6th grade program that we put on, and it was the first time I was ever on stage, and I wasn't a bit nervous, and I played a cook in the play, so I had this big cook hat on. Well, then I was to kind of be the MC of the program, and it was the first time I'd been with a big audience of parents and stuff, and made them laugh, and I thought that was so cool. I really loved that feeling, but then I got really shy in junior high, or else I could have been a stand-up comedian, maybe. But it was just kind of an amazing. I remember standing on that little stage, the stage that's in the gym. Mm-hmm. Is it still there? I think.
No, it's in it's behind it now. They like covered it up, but they're re-knocking.
Oh yeah, you let me go in and look at it.
It's behind in the closet.
Yeah, that stage brought back great memories of that program. As far as holidays, I don't remember a lot of that.
Did you do anything for like birthdays? Did you have a science fair, like a carnival?
The birthday, I didn't like, because I have a summer birthday. I'm in August. And I don't know if maybe we picked an unbirthday or something, because you could bring treats, cookies that your mom would bake or something like that. What was your other question about?
Did you have like a carnival?
We did have a carnival.
Yeah.
I really liked that, because you could go all over the school, and it's kind of like probably what you do with games in some rooms, and cakewalk.
Did you have like a dance party room?
The only dance we had was the 6th grade dance, the big end of the year.
Yeah.
And that was, kind of the only one as far as. Now in my neighborhood, we my neighbors were the Panthers, who had Hamburg Inn. I don't know if you know where that is.
I think I do.
But anyway, we'd all buy these. There was a record shop downtown, and you get what they call a 45. Have you ever seen a record that's a 45?
I don't know if it's like a 45, but I've seen a record.
Yeah, you've probably seen the bigger 33s, but if you had a 45, so you could go into this record shop and go into a little booth and listen to the music, and then buy this record for $1. Well, then in our neighborhood, we'd get together and we'd bring our little boxes of records and play them on each other's record players, and that was kind of our fun neighborhood thing,
It's like a block party kind of?
Yeah, for the kids.
For the kids,
yeah. We had a great neighborhood for for the neighbor or the kids getting together. So what else do you?
Oh, the next one is, what were some general rules and did you agree with them?
I always agreed with the rules, yeah, because I was kind of like Laura. Laura was always
Sound like Chloe.
a good student. Yeah, Laura, yeah, we were perfect. No, not really.
Not me.
You look like you would be. Well, yeah, basically, you were very respectful, as far as, well, most of us were. There were some. I was just telling Laura about the time I remember my 6th grade teacher cried because one of the boys was being really ornery. And that made me feel really bad because she walked over to the window and you could just see she had some tears, I didn't like that feeling. But yeah, you were very respectful. And if you weren't, you might as well, you'd get in a lot of trouble. So my parents always said, you sit in the front row and listen and pay attention. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You just had to, you knew school was serious. So,
Yeah.
But we still had fun,
The boys recently, they wanted to do kind of like a dance off where they to see who's the better dancer downstairs during lunch. And it ended really badly. Now they have to eat lunch in the classroom.
Oh, no.
That's cute.
But
I like that.
but all the other boys got really mad about this because they were just dancing. So then when they came back down to empty out their hot lunch trays, they were like, "Free Diego and LaShawn." And they banged on the tables and made a bunch of noise.
Oh my
and the
goodness.
teachers did not like that.
Well, you probably know a lot more about dancing than I did because, when we had our record parties in the neighborhood, we didn't dance. We just basically listened to, tap our foot or something like that. But so the 6th grade dance kind of was overwhelming because you'd never really had, maybe some of the kids had dancing lessons, but I never did. I could have used some, I think. When I suddenly had to dance with my dad, I didn't know what in the world to do. And I think I stepped on his toes a few times, but he didn't say anything. But so, yeah, you probably do a lot more dancing.
Yeah, we're going to do a Halloween dance.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. It's the 6th grade and we dance for pretty much the whole entire school.
Oh.
And my dad said that when he was in school, he didn't go to Longfellow, but he said when he was in school, the gym teacher would teach, I think it was I don't know, but they taught some different.
Yeah, when we went to 7th grade is when we had dancing in PE. And we learned to do the square waltz or something.
Yeah, that's the
whatever
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, what is that called?
Square dance or something.
We learned square
dancing.
dancing. This was the box step. We learned the box step and maybe one other one. But what I didn't like is I knew my hands were always going to be sweaty because I was nervous and I didn't want to take the boy's hand because I knew he's going to see that I'm nervous. So, yeah. And then we learned the stroll. You girls ever seen that on old movies where they line up on either side and then you go down you kind of do. I was never brave enough to be the soloist to go down there. So
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
you know what
I think I've seen it.
I bet you've seen it in some older movies that took place, but there was actually a song called "Let's Go Strolling," which started that. Did you do the stroll when you were in? It was out by then.
People would jump in the middle of a circle and dance.
We'd have the circle dance, yeah.
Probably like LaShawn and Diego.
Yeah. Except for everyone was sitting down and eating lunch and then they went out into the middle.
They'd be your people on the stroll.
Yeah, but it just so happened that Mr. P, our principal, was supervising the lunch, checking it out that day, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
So the teacher down there, Miss D, would have let it slide, except for Mr. P was there, and he took them to the office.
Oh.
My mom got to meet Miss D.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah. So, did you ever get in trouble? I don't think you did because of what you explained.
I don't really think I did get in trouble. That's the crazy thing about it. No, I was pretty straight-laced, as you would say.
If someone got in trouble, could they spank a kid in that day and age?
You know what? I don't know if they could or not, but I remember one
Sorry, I
day
didn't ask.
Mr. Seavey my principal, was really upset at this one boy. And I remember he took him and swung him around in a circle.
What? Like,
I mean, he didn't spank him, but he just took him by the arms and swung him around. And it was kind of scary. I don't know if Mr. Seavey really spanked anybody. That was the only time I ever see him.
Was it like aggressively or was it like playfully?
Oh, he was not happy with the kid.
Oh gosh.
And I don't, maybe I made that up in my head. Don't quote me. Maybe don't put that in the interview. Block that out. No, I think that happened as far, but
We've had stuff like that, which is not good, but
I think if you got in trouble, your parent would be called to the office, and then your parent, I'm guessing, would be the one that would, make you suffer the consequences, whatever they were, and so I never saw that side very much because teacher's pet. But yet in a good, I don't know.
my mom said, like, my mom was a teacher's pet kind of, and she said, like, one of her best friends is like the total opposite, and she'd always be getting in trouble. And one time it was like she was out of chances, and her teacher like took her into the hallway and paddled her.
Oh,
like
yeah?
the whole entire classroom could like hear.
Oh my!
I'm just glad that's
Well,
not here.
when I was teaching at Western Hills,
When I was in school.
Yeah, when Laura was a second grader and her sister would have been a first grader, or maybe you were a little older than that, but there was a paddle that the principal kept on his wall. Did Mr. Mays have that too?
Yep.
Did he? Well, I remember Mr. Cass, when I had to go in, one of my students got in trouble, and I had to actually witness him paddle. I mean, he needed a witness. And I remember, now in Ralston, Nebraska, my principal was a lady, and I loved her, Mrs. Neal. And if a kid got in trouble, there was this big vestibule that you could see, and then you'd go upstairs to some of the classrooms. She would take the kid and put him right over her knee and spank him with her hand. But it didn't seem very threatening, because she seemed like more of a
Like soft.
aunt or, grandmotherly type, so. But then that changed where kids couldn't be spanked anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't actually remember people being spanked at Longfellow per se. So
okay, I have two that I have to do, and then we can go back if we have time. So, did you have any specials classes like music, art, and PE?
we did have all three of those actually. Well, wait, did we have PE? No, I don't think we had. Oh, I can't remember. I know we had art. We went up to this little room. Is it still there? That was kind of a.
Was
I
it
if she's
on the
thinking about
third
the yellow
floor?
or the blue room, but that's really small for a class.
It was a pretty
I
small
wonder if she's
room.
thinking of Miss Lucas's room last year. That's kind of smaller in the corner there.
It
Yeah,
seemed like that the art teacher had a smaller room up there.
On the third floor?
Yes. Some steps even further up to it or something.
Oh, was that?
Maybe she's
Probably-
thinking the
yeah,
yellow
one
or
of
the
those
blue
two.
room.
Yeah,
I think that's where we had art.
that's small.
Yeah.
Was it like cramped? Do you know?
Maybe it was bigger at the time and they made it
It
smaller.
could have
smaller.
been maybe bigger. I mean, I remember art. I don't know that we had music and PE actually. I think PE you just did stuff with your classes, like we'd have a kickball time when we'd play kickball against, have teams. But I think that was more your regular teacher. I'm trying to think about music. Can't remember if we had a music, surely we had a music teacher.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. So basically art, I remember art.
Okay. Do you remember anything special about these, like special stories, kind of, or something that you liked about it?
Well, I don't remember who my art teacher was, but I got a little discouraged about art in sixth grade. Like I didn't think she thought I was good at art. And so I don't know how she let me know that. That was maybe the only bad experience I had in Longfellow, because I never felt like I could be a good drawer after that. I don't know why. Isn't that terrible to think of that?
Yeah. Like, like maybe she would like give like the person next to you like a compliment at work or
Maybe,
something. And,
maybe. I don't remember her saying anything specific, but I just never thought I could be good at art from then on. So that was kind of a bad memory, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I can go back and do. So, what subjects did you have in school? What was your favorite and why?
I loved reading and spelling. We would have spelling bees in our classroom starting in 4th grade. Do they even do that anymore? Where you'd have 2 teams?
Actually, in 3rd grade, we had like an old-fashioned day, and we did the spelling bee in old-fashioned.
Yeah, so we
So-
would do that maybe on Fridays, like once a
Friday.
week. And I loved it because I'd always get chosen to be on the teams because people knew I was a good speller. And
We have spelling tests on Friday. Like we're gonna take one.
yeah,
Right.
do you like spelling?
I'm not very good at it.
I mean, I'm okay. I guess I'm okay at it. I usually get like we do 6 spelling words, and I usually get like 6 out of 6 and 5 out of 6 or whatever.
yeah, so do I. But
Yeah.
other than that,
I mean, it's not really. It's just really quick and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and of course, we've spent a lot of time on cursive writing. I know you don't really learn that
Yeah,
as
that's
much
kind of an
anymore.
extra.
Yeah, which I loved cursive writing, and so I guess I'm kind of a right brain person. They talk about right brain and left brain. You girls
Yeah.
already know about this.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about this till college, probably. So I think I'm more of a reading, like I love studying languages
Mhm.
and writing. I like writing and
It's like more like the left brain was like the really organized one. And the right brain was like the more
yeah,
whimsical.
left brain is like math and science.
Yeah.
I had to work harder at math and science. I always got good grades, but I had to study them harder,
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite.
So you're good at
Yeah.
the math and sciences. What about you, Chloe?
She's good at everything. She gets 100% on everything.
Oh.
No, not everything.
Yes.
We're like
Yes,
90 or
everything.
80%.
No, more like 100%.
That's mostly just some math.
And science and social studies and reading.
Sounds like
Very
everything.
good last
Chloe.
grade.
You must be one of those rare students that's good at everything.
She honestly is though. Okay, so how was reading taught?
We would have reading groups that would come up and, generally we'd read in a circle. I doubt that they do that anymore probably very often, do they?
We have like reading groups where we actually we do kind of in 5th grade we did that where the teacher would it would be like a table like this and then she'd separate into groups and we'd each have like a different book that we were reading and then we'd come up and read together.
Uh-huh.
So we do have something like that.
Yeah, so that was how we did reading. We had worksheet, some work. Oh, we had a workbook actually, which was kind of nice
The reading?
for reading. Mhm. We had certain pages we do each day. And
Okay. Do you have any special projects with reading?
we had it with social studies more. I remember making this box that was supposed to look like a Pioneer Days or something. And I made the people out of clay and then painted them. Maybe you've done similar projects.
We did something like that with reading where we had to make like kind of what were they called? Like a
Diorama.
Oh, that's
diorama,
that's what this was a
Mhm.
diorama.
Did you go on field trips, and if you did, what kinds?
The only field trips I remember going, you had to walk because we didn't get buses to go.
Oh.
People didn't. I don't even think schools had buses very much in Iowa City. People could usually walk to their elementary school, And so, have you ever been to Plum Grove where the governor lived?
Yeah.
We would walk over there to Plum Grove and see that. And you'd have to walk with a partner, you'd be in a
Yeah.
line so that everybody was safe. And one of my classmates had her parents had a little grocery store. It's up on Summit. I think it's like a craft store now, maybe.
Is it like home ec or something?
Do you know
Oh,
that
Summit, I
little,
don't know.
if you're going on Summit and you'd go, over towards Lower Muscatine Road.
Mhm.
Oh.
There's a little store there.
Mhm.
But
That was, yeah.
I don't know what it is now. It seemed for a while it was knitting. But the thing that was so scared, she was at school one day. This was after the field trip and so forth. And because we stopped in the little store and got to look around, it was kind of like an all-purpose grocery store type thing. You know? But they called her out of class, and her parents, they lived up above the store, her family. The store caught on fire. Thank goodness. But it was so traumatic for all of us because we knew that little store, and it just got, it had to be rebuilt then after that, you know.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've like seen that.
It's like after a little bridge or before a little bridge, there's a little kind of a bridge.
Yeah, I think,
It's a white building.
Oh, she's not thinking deluxe, is she?
No, I'm not. I don't. Well, actually,
Might be.
she might be.
Because isn't deluxe down there by that bridge on Summit?
Yeah.
What's deluxe?
It's a bakery now. Actually,
Oh.
one of the girls in their class, her family owns it.
I'll have to drive by there, see what it is. Maybe that is what it is, because that'd be about the only store on Summit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, because that's really close to where I live.
Oh, is that?
They painted it blue, so now it's blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if that's what you're talking about, then. So, did you have snow days or days when you got out of school because it was too hot or too cold?
Well, in my day, we didn't get air conditioning in my family home until I was in high school. So it was like a window air conditioner. It would only cool our front 2 rooms, and then we'd shut the doors to the rest of the house. So basically you didn't, if you wanted to get cool, you'd go down to the Englert to go to the movies. Englert was the big, nice theater.
Yeah.
And it was so nice to go in and feel that air conditioning. So you didn't have air conditioning at school. You just had fans, which I know you guys are used to at Longfellow.
Yeah.
So you're going to have air
Surprisingly.
conditioning. Yeah, you're going to love
Yeah.
it.
So
And poor Laura hasn't had air conditioning for a long time. But, and I don't remember them calling off school for snow per se, because like I say, the kids walked.
Yeah.
Well, most everybody walked. So
Yeah, because now it's like kind of like a bigger commute for the kids on the bus. So then if the buses can't go, they don't want the walking kids to get ahead. So,
right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do remember a blizzard when I was in high school. And my dad was a professor down at the university, and he never believed in missing a day. He walked down the middle of the street to get down to his office all the way down at campus. Your grandpa Chet. So, but I don't remember having big blizzards when I was in grade school.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd want to add about?
Well, when you mentioned missing school, the best thing that happened to me was when my girlfriend Margalit was 2 years ahead of me. You maybe you'll interview her. She was across the street, but she got a light case of mumps. And I know your generation and Laura's, you got shots for mumps.
Yeah.
MMR shot, mumps, measles, and rubella.
My mom looked it up though, and they're only 80% effective. And then my brother, we got the shots and everything, but my brother got it anyway.
You can.
Well, now they're saying
cases.
that especially college campuses are having an outbreak of mumps, and they're saying maybe you should get a 3rd shot.
Yeah.
So anyway, Marley and I, she came down with a light case of mumps, and hers just, it felt weird behind your ears. Some people would get these huge cheeks, but she and I both got the mumps within 2 days of each other. So we had to be off school for like 2 weeks. And that was so fun because Marley's mom had she got these little statues, and we could be together because we both had mumps, you know. So we'd paint these little statues, and it was great.
Did you try to get sick?
No, I didn't try to get sick.
Yeah, because like my brother, he didn't do anything productive. He just played video games. But yeah, because like you're not like you're sick, but like you don't have like the flu, so like you can still do stuff. So
right.
I remember I came home and he had built he was playing Minecraft and he built like a giant castle.
He enjoyed the mumps too. Huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, some people were really sick with the mumps. You know, I think they could run a fever and not feel well. But Marley and I had this light case, and we just could stay home and goof off. You know, it was great. And then I was telling Laura, when I was in 6th grade, the Asian flu went through our school. And it was weird because I remember sitting in my 6th grade room, and suddenly this row would all be gone, and I was kind of in the middle.
What?
Then this row, and I thought, well, I'm escaping it. I'm not going to get it. Well, when it got down to the middle of my row, before you knew it, I had it. And then I was really sick with a high fever for probably at least a week.
What is the Asian?
I don't even think it exists anymore, but it was just this strain of flu, and they didn't have shots in those days for flu like they do now, you know.
So
And you
got
just,
it.
yeah, you just knew it was coming down the row, and then you thought, oh my gosh, my time is up. And sure enough, it was.
So when the rows were like leaving, would it like at the end would like the teacher be teaching like an empty classroom, or
Well, I
did they
don't know.
eventually
I think
come
some
back?
of them started coming
Yeah.
back then on this side of the room. You know, so then they said, I don't know if the teacher got sick or not. You know, I never heard, because I felt so sick for a week that I just felt like I was in a field of cotton. I had this high fever, and I just remember this, you know, my parents would come in and talk to me every now and then, but I thought, I'm in a field of cotton.
And they made her walk home by herself.
Well, yeah, my dad
did.
had the only car down at work, and I probably wasn't as sick right then as I was when I got in my
Yeah.
bed, you know, and then I was in a field of cotton, but I was able to make it home the 10 blocks, you know, but I
Yeah.
kind of remember walking home in a daze too, you know. But the thing about Miss Montgomery, we always knew right where she lived, because it would be on the way home, and it's just down this one little street, and she lived in this smaller house with her mom
Mhm.
all of her life, and so she taught like 3 generations or 4 generations of some families. It's because Longfellow was her life, basically, you know. So I'm so glad that she's honored with a picture. And
Yeah, we actually, I don't know if this is like honoring or something, but we say that like her ghost haunts the school, and then we have a lock-in, and like the kids all run around, and like they have the teachers up there like hide in the classrooms and slam the doors, and then we have like this courage walks like on the 3rd row. You know how like the hallway's kind of crooked and stuff.
yes.
Well, it was, because then they straightened it out, so now it won't be as fun when you do it. But so, like you curve around, and then like some of the teachers would be hiding behind the corner wearing like scary costumes, and they jump out. But yeah, I just realized that we get out in 5 minutes. So
Oh, what time is it? Oh, well, we better call
Yeah.
it to a close. Well, anyway, girls, this has been so much fun. I hope you have a good experience interviewing other people and
Yeah.
everything.
so thank you for
Thank you
your
for
time.